Hey you guys, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and it's all about my SAUCEBOX Etude palette, which I've had for a while now. I got it last summer at IMATS, so I've had it for like 6 months, I think. I don't know. Math. It's hard. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes just because it is so versatile. Like, you can use it on your eyes, face, eyebrows, anything you want. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be showing you guys how I use this palette all over my face, not just on my eyes. I'm going to start off talking about the basics of the palette itself before I get into all of this business. This is what it looks like. It comes in this cardboard thing. It has this pretty little lady on it. And my favorite thing about this palette is how huge the pans are. They are much larger than your average eyeshadow pans that you would get in other palettes. And excuse me for how dirty this is. I get my grubby little fingers all over it and it just makes a mess. So just pretend like it's not really that dirty. There's a mirror up top, which is always nice. Folds down like this. There's a nice range. These are mostly neutral colors that you would wear like in a basically everyday kind of makeup look. 2 highlight shades up here. One is almost white, one's kind of a yellow based highlight. And this is a nice red burgundy color. We've got this dark brown that's got kind of like an olive undertone or like a green, kind of like a green gray undertone. Then we have this warm brown down here. Got this nice black, which is like the blackest black eyeshadow that I've ever tried. This is kind of like tied with Makeup Geek Corrupt eyeshadow. They're both super black. Anyways, got this gray and then this kind of taupey brown gray color. I like that they're all matte because I'm not a fan of palettes that have mostly shimmery eyeshadows. I don't know why. I just was really drawn to this because it is an all matte eyeshadow palette. The pigmentation is amazing. They're so creamy and they blend out really well. I'm going to keep the review on it super short. All you need to know is that I love it. It is great. It is $50, I believe. Yes. But if you have the opportunity to get your hands on this, then I definitely would because it's amazing. And I just feel like it's one of those palettes that everybody needs. Alright, so I'm going to get into show you guys how I did this entire face look with this eyeshadow palette. So yeah, if you want to know how I did this, then let's just do it right now. Let's go. So the first shade that I'm going to take is Beaming, and it's the second shade in right here. It's this kind of matte yellow, and well, obviously it's matte because all of them are, but this is my favorite shade in the palette, I think, just because it's so versatile. Like, I love this as a base shadow on my lid to blend other colors on top of, and this is the shadow that I always go to no matter what palette I'm using. I will always just pick this palette up and go right into Beaming and place this all over my lid before I get into the other shadows. So I'm just taking this on a big fluffy brush, just kind of sweeping it all over. And this color, as you can see, is like perfect for my skin tone. Now I'm going to take Cream Dream on that same fluffy brush. This is just my favorite shade as a transition shade to pop right in the crease. So I'm just taking my big fluffy brush and kind of just going all over the crease with this. Not trying to be too precise, just kind of adding that depth in there. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it does add a little bit of depth and warmth to the eye. I'm not bringing it all the way up to the brow bone, but I'm bringing it up a little bit higher than I usually do with other darker creased colors. I feel like I look really creepy without doing my eyebrows first. So sorry if I look creepy, guys. I'll get to it after my eyes. So I'm taking a smaller blending brush and I'm going to dip into this color called Caramel, this kind of warm brown tone. It's kind of a medium brown, not too dark. And I'm just going, what is in my eye? Get out of there. I'm just going to take this and apply it directly into the crease, not blending it up as far as I just blended the Cream Dream, just focusing it right in that crease. I'm just going back and forth. And I like to take it all the way into like the corner of my eye right here. And I'm also kind of stretching it out a little bit past the edge of my eye, just to kind of elongate my eye and make it look a little bit wider than it actually is. And this look that I'm doing today is super just neutral everyday look, because I feel like this palette, I mean, you can do a bunch of different stuff with it, but for me it's my favorite way to do just a neutral eye. Like, every time that I use this palette, I'm normally just trying to do like a pretty simple everyday look with it. Now I'm taking this Real Techniques shading brush and I'm going to dip this into this dark burgundy color called Biscotti, and I'm just going to kind of darken up the outer edge of my eye. Outer corner I guess would be more accurate. Just going to place this in about the outer half, right on top of that caramel color that we just did. Also going to bring it down to meet with my lash line. And I'm also just slightly blending it in onto my lid, but not too far. I like using this color a lot because I feel like it just adds a really nice warmth to it and kind of just dresses up the everyday look a little bit. So I'm actually going to take my MAC 217 blending brush, just going to dip a little bit more into that red color Biscotti and just blend this out into the crease a little bit better because that other brush wasn't blending as well as I hoped. So yeah, just going to go back to old trusty MAC 217. I'm going to go back in with that very first blending brush that I used for the first color. I'm just going to blend everything out. I didn't dip this back into any of the shades, but I'm just using whatever is left over to diffuse that red in with the other colors that are on my lid. So this step is totally optional. Obviously you don't have to do it. I'm just taking a flat brush and dipping it back into Beaming, which is that base shade that we first put on. I'm just going to clean up what might have fallen down on my lid just to kind of brighten up this area a little bit more. And just to give this look that little extra something, I'm going to take this tiny little blending brush and I'm going to dip it into this black, which is called Toffee. Doesn't really make sense to me. Don't know why they named it that. Anyways, it's like one of the blackest black eyeshadows that I've ever used. And I'm just going to darken up this outer V. So I'm just going to place this really carefully over here. I'm kind of blending as I go. I'm just super lightly trying to diffuse the color. I'm blending it outwards rather than inwards towards my lid. Okay, just kidding. I'm blending a little bit inwards. Now I'm just going to warm up that lower lash line to match everything on top, and I'm going back in with a tiny little brush and taking the color Caramel again, just going right underneath the lash line. Now taking Biscotti on that same brush and just focusing on the outer half of my lower lash line. I'm going to take this very lightest shade called Snowflake, which is pretty much almost white, and I'm just going to use this as a highlight in the inner corner of my eye. I also like to use it as a highlight underneath my brow bone, but I don't like to do that until after my brows are filled in, so we're going to do that after the eyes. There's another truck doing stuff outside, but I'm just going to try to talk through it and get through this together. We can do it, okay? Alright, so I'm going to take that black color, Toffee, and I'm just going to take a super small defining brush like this, and this is by Real Techniques as well. It is called the Accent Brush, and I'm going to use this to do some smoked liner. So obviously I'm starting out by doing that outer wing first. I'm just working on bringing this in towards the very inner corner of my eye, and I'm just kind of doing these sweeping motions. You can stretch your eyelid if that helps. Now I'm just kind of starting to flick it upwards. I have a whole video on smoky eyeliner if you want to go watch that, but I'm just kind of working on blending this up into my lid just a tiny bit to kind of get part of that black diffused so it looks a little bit smokier. The beauty of smoky liner is that it doesn't have to look perfect. So when you get something that looks like this, I am just going to take a liquid liner. This step is optional, you can just not use this, but I like to have the base of the eyeliner a little bit darker than the top. Doesn't make sense, but you'll see what I'm saying in a second. So I'm just taking this as close to my lash line as possible. Just gonna do some mascara real quick. I'm getting to the point in my life where I feel like I need to wear fake eyelashes every single day because I'm getting used to what my eyelashes look like with fake eyelashes, and now that I'm not wearing them, they just look really weird. So I'm gonna try to stay strong and not wear fake eyelashes today. Let's see how that goes. So now I'm going to use this palette to do my eyebrows, and this might not work for everybody. It depends on your hair color and skin tone, but I'm going to try to make it work. I'm going to take this small angled brush and I'm going to dip this into Cream Dream, and I'm going to place this in the first part of my eyebrow because I'm a fan of eyebrows that are lighter in the front and kind of fade to a darker color. I know that's not everybody's thing, but it's mine. And I'm just doing little flicks with the brush to kind of mimic the hair, turning the brush upwards like this to get the front hairs because this is the direction that they grow in. So just kind of trying to mimic that. As you can see, this color is very light, but I just like this in the beginning of my brows just to kind of prepare for the darker colors that I'm going to be putting in. And I recently got my hair redone since I don't know if the last video I had dark hair or if I still hadn't gotten it touched up, but last time I tried filling in my brows with this palette was when I had lighter red hair, so we're going to see if this still works out with the dark red purple I got going on now. Now I'm going to take Caramel, and I'm just going to place this right in the middle of my brow, kind of continue it from where that first color left off. And I'm actually going back and forth between dipping it in the caramel and this brownish olive color, which is called Chocolate. And I'm just kind of dipping the brush in both of these at the same time and filling in the rest of my brows just because the chocolate is a little bit warm and I kind of wanted to cool it down with that other color. Now that the brows are filled in, I'm going to go back into Snowflake and just highlight right underneath the outer part of my eyebrow. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my face, and I'm going to take a mix of Caramel and Cream Dream on this brush that I usually contour with. I'm just going to lightly dip it in these, tap it off, and start sculpting out my cheekbone. And I found that these two colors mixed together are pretty close to the effect that I get when I use Fawn from the Anastasia contour kit, which is my favorite contour shade ever. Blend it upwards. Then I'm just going to take a clean brush and blend everything out even more. So as you can see, these colors mixed together do contour pretty well. They're a little bit warmer than I usually contour with, but it kind of just adds a nice bronze tone to my cheeks as well. And I really am trying to get this as close to my natural contour that I usually do as possible because I am going to class like in an hour. So I don't have time to take this off and start all over. So really trying to make it look how I normally do my makeup. I'm going to take that same e.l.f. brush that I used to set my under eye concealer. I'm going to dip this in Beaming, which is the base color that I put on my lid. I'm just going to highlight my under eye area. This is kind of similar to Banana from the Anastasia contour kit, but obviously not as yellow. And it like I said earlier, it's really close to my natural skin tone, so it works out pretty well. I also like to use this to carve out underneath my contour if it gets a little bit too low, just to kind of clean up that edge. Alright, going to take the highlight one step farther. Going to use the Snowflake color, that white. Just going to apply the tiniest amount on the very highest points of my cheeks. My camera keeps cutting out, so I'm not sure what you guys are hearing and what you aren't, so sorry. But yeah, obviously this isn't a shimmery highlight, so it's not gonna be like bam, highlight right in your face, but it's kind of subtle, and I don't mind a matte highlight every now and then. Obviously there is no blush color in this palette unless you want to be real brave and try this red color, the Biscotti, but not really my thing. So I'm going to go in with my MAC Warm Soul and just apply a little bit of this on my cheeks. But for the record, I did use Biscotti as a blush once and it was okay. It was alright. I just used the tiniest bit and blended it out a lot so it wasn't too like dark red. But I actually really did like the color. I don't know why I'm not going to do it today. Don't know. I don't know the answer to a lot of things. And I'm just going to go in with a little bit of Mary Luminizer because I can't not wear this. Just a little bit though. Alright you guys, so that is how I use my SAUCEBOX Etude palette on my eyes, eyebrows, and my face. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, if you don't have this palette already, then I think that you should definitely get it, especially if you're a fan of matte eyeshadows and a palette that you would use almost every day of your life. Try it out. And yeah, it's just basically one of my favorite palettes that I own, and I just wanted to show you guys the versatility of it. So I hope that you found this video helpful and hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one.